spot out here by the creek. It's going to be cold tonight. It will be below freezing. So, going to get the shelter set up nice and quick. I'll go over all the stuff I brought. In my bag of tricks, a little waste bin for sitting on, candle, another stainless steel waste bin I can use to hopefully cook on. There's a fire pit, but we're going to try to keep it as authentic and cleaning as possible. Steel wool, all-purpose clothesline. That means all-purpose, as in camping. Fly swatters, mops, paper towel, bunch of stuff. But I got to get a tent set up. It's already getting a little chilly. Sun goes down in about 3.5 hours, so I got some time to get this set up and gather some firewood. But I'm going to try to make a tent out of garbage bags. And I could probably make a little ground sheet or a thermarest type thing by putting in leaves into some garbage bags as well. So get some heavy duty ones. They should do the job. All-purpose clothesline. Now, I was filming this same idea a couple of days ago, and I was trying to make a hammock, but that'll take a little more skill than I have. I know some people definitely have made hammocks out of garbage bags, but didn't work for me. Fell down, got a little scratch on me somewhere, but yeah, that was fun. So going with the foolproof method today. Gonna borrow a rock from the river here. Doesn't work for a tent peg. Got an all-purpose mop. So that means tent pole. And just like that, anchored down to the rock on the other side, and I'll just build a little tent around it. I'm going to do 2 rocks out on an angle. I know I could have attached it to that other tree, but I don't want to get clotheslined. One of the downsides to using clothesline for this stuff is it stretches, which led to tragic outcomes for that hammock. Unless you're a spectator, then it was hilarious. Not bad, not bad. It's going to be a little cold, so I'm keeping this thing double layer, so it'll be like a 3-season tent. Gonna clip a few of these on for now. Try to tape them together. Clothespins are aesthetically pleasing, but they're not the strongest knife in the drawer. So some packing tape on this situation will make things weather resistant, wind proof, IP67 rated. Things are nicely taped up. I'm just going to do a sideways panel on each side. It should just take a couple of bags sideways, and this palace will be ready for action. So a few little river rocks on the edge here. Work like tent pegs. I couldn't think of anything cleaning related that could be a tent peg, so here we are. Home, sweet home. And there you have it. For the low, low price of your dignity, you can save a few dollars on a tent that is of adequate structure. So I'm going to fill some garbage bags with leaves for a little sleeping pad, so I'm not right on the ground. And just provided some extra insulation because the R value of a sheet of plastic is like -2. So we'll get this all filled up and gather some firewood and start a nice little fire here, Mike. after a few handfuls, this is all full of sticks and twigs and probably ticks. So I'm just going to crumple up some paper towel and put her in here. That'll be a fine sleeping pad for me. Yeah, that works. Should stay dry. I'll probably grab a couple more rocks and stick them around the edge because the rocks and the tape are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for this setup. A few other fire pits around here, so people do come down here. Nobody tonight because it's fairly cold. But it's probably also picked pretty clean of firewood. But a little bridge over there, water across, see what we can find. Definitely a well-beaten trail here, and another campsite up here by the looks of it. Going to be grabbing a bunch of pieces of small diameter wood by the looks of it. Take a bit, but beautiful creek. Don't have to worry about water. Got a modest assembly of firewood for tonight. Shelter's all set up, and today's step 2 is I'll continue drinking my orange flavored sports drink. Because camping isn't just about going into the woods for a sesh. It's about getting in touch with nature, cooking some food, hearing a babbling creek right beside you while you drift off to sleep. And that'll be the plan tonight. Got extra rocks around the sides of that shelter, so it shouldn't be blown away anywhere. And gonna get a fire going. I like to ration the wood as much as possible, start it like a little bit later in the evening, because if I run out of wood, it's gonna be a cold night. One of these cleaning supply things I brought with me to give some nice ambience and to get a nice smell in the air is this Lakeside Forest scented candle. It's a 3-wicker, so you know they mean business. Nature. There's a million ways to start a fire with cleaning supplies. Half the stuff under the sink is going to work. But today, for safety's sake, I'm choosing hand sanitizer. It's the same basic stuff as that gel fire starter, and I'm going to be a little bit generous with it because the days of rationing this stuff are thankfully gone. And what we're going to do, start that up, is steel wool. Has to be the actual steel wool, not the stuff that has soap in it, and a battery. So this should work. Like a dream. Woo! Crackling already. That's what I like. See, I can start 10 more fires with this thing. Easy. 12 pack, 11 more fires. Excellent.
When you prefer a dream vacation over a rental nightmare, sometimes it matters where you stay. Hilton for the stay.
Starting at $399.99. Some say you can't have it all.
Check out these deals of the week at Walgreens.
I'm doing a 2-course meal tonight. I'm going to use this stainless steel waste bin and this pot fits right in there, to cook a little soup. I was thinking a cool evening like this, I should have a soup. But a soup is hardly a meal. It's like an appetizer. So, hot dogs. But I'm going to need a hot dog stick. That's why we got a fly swatter. It's a little metal part here, and I should be able to rip off the swatting part. I'll probably even put this right back on after. And yeah, little stick to cook hot dogs on. Because every time I'm camping, no matter what meal I bring, I'm always craving some hot dogs. I'm going to get the soup kind of started, because that can be cooked and then just sit around festering while I eat hot dogs. But there we go. And I'll see if this waste bin holds together. There's one seam on it that could prove a little tricky. But we'll keep it a reasonable little fire in this one, because it's all we got to cook the soup with. Just some chicken noodle soup, one of these package mix things, but I'm going to add in some real veggies and some real chicken, kind of real chicken, and just saute these veggies in there with a little bit of butter / olive oil and some salt. The ring came off my pudding can. Oh. What could go wrong? All right, all right. So that's something to watch out for. On the list of surprises, that's not one I was expecting. If you put the pot right in, it creates an explosive flame situation when you pull it out. So, oh my. Okay, lesson learned on that little thing. I'm just going to kind of do it like this. And when that gets down to some coals, then I'll put the soup on to kind of cook it and keep warm. But with active open flame, that is a bad and dangerous situation. But it's holding together so far. It's not falling apart. The soup cooked up really good, just keeping it warm there. And time for a couple of hot dogs. And for the record, this is a brand new fly swatter. It's not a used one. I guess, if you put it in the fire, you'd cook off anything that was on it anyways. So it's a good handy little tool. When they used to make those antennas on cars, you could unscrew them, the metal ones. Those used to be a good one too. Freshest buns I could find today aren't my favorites, but that's okay. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Nova Scotia. I mentioned in one video that we decided that we're keeping my mom's house in the family. So I went out there to get it ready for winter. And my mom is an amazing woman, but she was not in home improvement. So in order to get the place all insulated, get the furnace up to speed, make sure that there's not going to be any problems when it gets down to -20 this winter, took a little bit of time to get that sorted out. And I became kind of the contractor guy, just driving around, picking stuff up, placing orders, picking stuff out, which I'm not good at anyways. So now I got some time to breathe and relax. Mm, mm. Now we're camping. All right. This smells amazing. And it is. Wow. Those little soup boxes, those soup packages, it doesn't take a lot of fixing up to really make them pretty decent. Looks like it's going to be soup for breakfast, but look at this hearty, delicious soup. The wind's really picked up too, so I'm going to let the fire burn down. Keep a close eye on it too, because there's some dry leaves, etc. But oh well. So you're going to see this smoke has been doing this all evening while I've been sitting here. We'll just give it a sec, it'll move. But overall, this thing worked amazing aside from not having air holes. If it had the air holes on it, it'd be really good. The seams held up good, bottom's good, and surprise, surprise, a cheap stainless steel thing actually worked pretty good. And the tent is holding up. This little stool I've been sitting on, not so good. So these little trash bins, they're best used probably for just trash. And yeah, it's all worked pretty good here. I think the star of the show is these little hot dog roasters. These guys really did the job very wonderfully. And okay, I'm gonna start getting ready for bed. I'm not really tired yet, but the smoke is just getting to me. Little sleeping bag, just a basic guy here on top of this little ground mat is doing surprisingly good. By the morning, probably not, but that'll work nice. Got that set up, and I'll back to Firewatch. Yeah, I got a bunch of little lights hung up in the trees, so if I need to use the restroom in the night, I can kind of get my orientation and see where I'm going. And I'm at that age where I will likely need to. Yeah, clearly using cleaning supplies for camping is really silly. Not very practical, but it can be done. And I hate seeing really expensive camping gear, because when you're camping, it should be the cheapest, most free thing you can do, with just a bedroll by a fire and a can of beans. And when I see $300 jackets and $100 backpacking tarps, like, for the lightweight stuff, I know it's expensive to get the good gear, but for car camper, weekend warriors, you use just about anything. That's the way I like to do it. I'm gonna wait for this to burn down. The smoke has really been chasing me around quite a lot, and there's some dry leaves around here. So with no further ado, I'm gonna kick back, watch this fire for a bit, crawl right in and hunker down for a good, hopefully not smoky sleep. All right, the fire has burned down a little bit, and I think just about time to crawl into my little cleaning supply shelter for the night. And there's a little bit of snow coming down. Thought it was ash at first, but there's some snow particles coming down. It's all right. My 3-season tent is going to do the job quite nicely. So, yeah, it feels warmer in here already. And we will see you guys in the morning, and unless something cool happens at night, and in which case I will have the camera ready to roll. Once you're in the sleeping bag, warms up quite nicely. Good morning, my frosty friends. Did get a little skip of a little bit of snow last night. It was slightly below zero. This thing turned into a bit of a wind tunnel. I could have used more tape, for sure. But yeah, it wasn't bad. I've slept much worse than this. Could have used a little more paper towel in my sleeping pad here, but I'm gonna take this down. Whew, you'll move quick today. So I'm going to return these rocks to the stream because the fire ring has enough rocks, and want to be kind to nature. This thing should come down no problem and pack up in a second. Haha! That's quicker than your ordinary tent. There's the gloves. I could have used those. There's even a bunch of leftover wood for the next fellows to come along. And there's people that hike this trail. I saw one last night. So that was cool. It's always embarrassing when I'm wrapped up in garbage bags with mops and stuff. But it's good to know there's people around because there is no cell service. And if I am in trouble out here, I don't have my GPS emergency beacon with me. It would be really nice to know that people occasionally come by. But we'll wrap up the rest of this and call it a trip. Unbelievable that this thing stood up to that fire for quite a while. Perfect shape. Just needs a little polishing. Could just probably return it to the store. I won't do that though. Okay, one last little check here. Now I've got everything. I'm out of here not super early, but before all the hikers start coming along the trail and shaking their heads and wondering if I'm running from the law or something. But it was a pretty successful camp. I'd say more tape on the garbage bags. The tape and those rocks for weight are doing the heavy lifting there. So that's the weak point of the link too. We're not dealing with one solid piece of garbage bag. That would be too easy. I am feeling a little free now that I'm not dealing with that house on a full-time basis.